Hey guys and girls, I got a couple of buddies here with me. You remember here just the other day, a week or so ago, we did a video unloading a product called Humisoil from a company called the Sustainable Green Team. And I got the owner, Tony Raynor right now, and one of the great quantum scientists, and this is a cool scientist right here, Chad Roy, and Tony will tell you about him. But what I want to do on this video right here, you heard me talking about some of the things that I heard that Humisoil made by SGTM, Sustainable Green Team, what it does. But I've got these guys here to answer my questions and answer your questions and to let us know a little bit more, because I know enough to be dangerous is what I know right now. But you guys have got the answers, and we can talk about, because this is a product that not only is it going to help us in a lot of different ways here on Twin Eagle Ranch with the animals, with the deer, the turkey, you know, everything we've got here, but it's going to help us at our gardens where we grow our vegetables. It's going to help the flowers at the house and so many things. So, and Tony Raynor is the owner of this company. And you saw me unload a semi-truckload. They sent another semi-truckload down. And we'll look at here, we're pan through here and look at this. You can see that I've got lots and lots. And I've hauled some of this down to the house where we're going to make some more videos showing you how we're using it. But tell us about the product. Tell us about the company, Sustainable Green Team. And what are we talking about, Tony?
All right, this is awesome, Jimmy. I'm excited. You know, being around you, that being such an enthusiastic individual that has been in the great outdoors and loved by Americans. You know, to me, this experience is I'm just fired up.
We'll have fun. We'll have fun.
What the Sustainable Green Team is, a very disruptive company that works with a whole suite of technologies, and we're able to really handle things from, you know, livestock to the farmer, all the way to the home gardener.
Y'all have probiotic products that are for horses, cows, chickens, goats.
We have a lot of new innovative things that are going to be brought into the market, and we're really going to start into this with our core technologies of soil restoration. And you know, so one of the things that we really came to an understanding getting into this business was 50% of the world's agricultural land has been destroyed.
Right. We put fertilizer on it, we put insect repellents and spray it with stuff to kill bugs, and we're trying to grow bigger tomatoes, bigger carrots, more carrots. We're trying to get our cattle to put on pounds quicker. We're getting bigger chickens, more eggs, the whole nine. But in the process of doing all that, we've damaged our planet quite a bit.
Yeah, so our company's core mission is really about having a healthy planet. Healthy animals, healthy people, healthy soil, healthy food. All together, man, that just brings prosperity.
If we grow like here, you know, we just hayed. We see that you drove around the ranch yesterday with me. You see the hay fields; they've just been hayed. We just haul the hay out of here. If we make the soil better, it seems to me like even the cows that eat that hay are going to be better cows, going to be healthier. Is that true or not?
Big time.
Really?
Absolutely.
Really?
You know, when you have
What about the tomatoes that I eat myself? That helps me?
Well, the nutrient value that you get from, you know, a plant that is growing in healthy soil versus one in a chemical, it's night and day difference. Yeah. You ever notice that you eat a tomato or different vegetables and it just doesn't seem like it has the
Sometimes they
right
just don't
taste?
Have the flavor. They just don't taste quite the same.
No.
And that's why everybody loves homegrown tomatoes, homegrown watermelon.
Oh, that's it. You know, and it's kind of a paradigm shift, as Tony had put it one time, because we're not focusing on feeding the plants what they need. We're focusing on feeding the microbes what they need in order to get the nutritions to the plants so that it can be uptaken by the animals and us. So
this is not man-made dirt. And I ask you a question, I think. I've visited with Chad a lot on the telephone. He's really a cool scientist. And skin dives, he goes and dives in creeks for gold. So that's a pretty cool scientist, I think. But and I told him, I said, are we talking about man-made dirt? And we sort of are, but that's really not. We're talking about taking the soil that we've had, that we've been destroying for years, and restoring that soil. But we've been destroying it, now we're going to restore it.
And it's a little bit of both. We're able to manufacture a man-made soil, but we're also able to heal existing, you know, structured dirt that has dead organisms.
Once we apply this, or mix it in, or both.
Yep.
We apply it on top, and we mix it in both. Both ways work.
Yep. So. Absolutely. So it's a blend of sciences, the most advanced agricultural sciences in the world, brought together into a soil that's in front of you, a replacement fertilizer.
And when I look at this, and you've got like literally tons of product already made, and it takes several months, you know, when you go through the process of doing this, and we put it down with the soil, and we've got catalysts we put on there, and And when I talked to you, I told you, you know, my college degrees are in economics and political science, you know, and I sort of ran from science and biology and chemistry classes, but you were telling me about the being able to, with humus oil, release hydrogen down into the ground, and then with a catalyst that would combine with the oxygen in the ground. Well, the only formula I might remember from 7th and 8th grade biology and science classes is H2O. And I asked you on the phone, the very first time I talked to you, I said, Chad, it sounds to me like that's H2O, you're creating water. And you said, bingo, you got
That's
it.
it.
I mean, exactly.
Yeah,
Explain that.
and that's where the quantum ecology comes in. The quantum science is that we're not adding anything that's not already in the environment around us. But just like fishing, where you use a specific bait to attract a certain fish, we use specific substrates, they call it, to attract certain biology out of the air that's around us. And then we sequester it and we put that biology into the soil. And that biology happens to be a charged bacteria. And they have a few things that run that charge. One is the sunlight that we see, but they also can be charged off from UV light. They can be charged off from infrared light. But going back to that hydrogen, they consume hydrogen out of different molecules that are in the soil. So let's take that for an example. Typical compost, if you're using feedlot manure, they'll release...
People say, is it like compost? I've been asked that by some of the friends I've talked to about it.
It's very similar to compost in looks and
Is that about like compost? I get that right there. So.
Yeah,
But there's a couple key things about this that makes it, to me, so much better than compost is it's a zero net carbon process.
So it doesn't put any gases.
Well, and that goes
like
back to
fertilizer
that.
does.
That's correct, and that goes back to that quantum ecology part, because not only are the bacteria that we attract, they're charged bacteria, and you guys can research charged bacteria. It takes us to the next level of agricultural, and what they do, and so the other food source for that bacteria is hydrogen.
Right.
So if you look at a methane molecule has 4 hydrogen atoms on it and 1 carbon in the center.
The carbon's what's bad.
The carbon with methane and typical composting, a lot of evaporation, and that carbon molecule, that methane molecule, evaporates into the atmosphere and creates that carbon off-gassing, right? With the carbon. So here what we do is they consume the hydrogen out of those methane molecules and other soil gases, and then they store that carbon into the soil, and they use that, and so there's extra hydrogen that's left over, and because they're photocatalytic, they manufacture oxygen underground as well, photosynthesis underground without sun. So they bond that oxygen that they've manufactured
So it's manufactured
to
that day and night? So you're actually getting the benefit of the sun even when it's not shining?
Yep.
It's cloudy or it's dark?
That's correct, yes, because during the photosynthesis process, usually they produce sugars for the microbes, but at night when the sun goes down, that photosynthesis process typically stops. So the plants have to rely on their battery that they've stored during the day.
They're sort of sleeping like we are.
That's correct.
They're not growing.
You know, Chad, I think some people get the misconception too, though, that carbon is just bad. They don't understand that, the human body is made up of almost 20% of carbon.
That's true.
Yep.
Carbon is actually very critical. We need carbon, right?
Yep.
It's just where it's being placed.
That's correct.
The second largest holder of carbon is the land.
Yes, so zero carbon emissions with manufacturing this product because of storing the carbon. Not only is it storing the carbon
down
from the soil gases instead of letting it evaporate out of the atmosphere, but we're also sequestering carbon out of the atmosphere. So as I mentioned another time with you, Jimmy, is just like one of those air purifiers that have a charged plate and it attracts that carbon out of the air around us, and you wipe it off and it's dark. This bacteria is charged.
If you have a filter, the filter will actually turn black.
That's correct, yep. And so that charge that's in this soil, that static or electrical charge, attracts that carbon out of the atmosphere that's floating around in those molecules that weren't consumed by other biology. So it's a fascinating, so not only are we eliminating the carbon emissions going off from a composting type process, but we're sequestering carbon like no one else has in the past.
And one thing too is, this technology is working all over, the world, 30 different countries, but this has really been newly introduced into America. And that's been the partnership why it's been so great with Chad
I think you told me that you're actually planning on bringing this into America in 2020 or 21, I guess, and and the COVID came around.
COVID
so
came
it kinda
around,
pushed this
but,
back a couple of
you
years.
know, and we have, case studies all over the
But at the
place.
same time, you were making the product during all
Correct.
this time.
Yeah.
So you've got,
Millions of yards. We have enough now to restore millions of acres of land.
wow.
And we're launching into big box retailers and through QVC and HSN. So we're really excited about that. But, being able to do this together with you, we get to see firsthand, you get to see firsthand, and your viewers, how this stuff actually works.
Yeah, the big deal, the things that we've got planned to do, and we'll be doing several different videos. We'll do a video on each one, or we'll make these things an hour long, but we'll be doing things and where you can actually tell, and even on some of our food plots that we have for the deer, some of our hay meadows, we will put humus oil on the majority of it, but we'll leave areas where we don't put any humus oil on. So we can just drive over there and you just look at what's happening. Our little tomato plant, this is the worst time in the world to build tomato plants. We got a deal, put 4 tomato plants in dirt, 4 of them in dirt, and humus soil. Watch them grow. If either one of them grow, it's pretty miraculous what you're talking about this time of the year.
Yeah, it's hot here, almost 100 degrees.
100 degrees every day, and no rain forecast the next 15 days. And but we got products like waterless gardens and waterless lawn that'll be out within the next month or so, where you use so much less water, or this will create enough water to actually have your flowers and your vegetables in your yard.
Well, think
be
about
healthy.
this. Not only is the American farmer hurting, but you take a look at in America, 40 million acres of land is lawn and turf.
Yeah.
And so for us to be able to really help combat, the synthetic addiction, that, these lawns have, well, they'll be able to water less.
Yeah.
That's why we came up with the waterless garden, the waterless lawn, is really to move away from the synthetics, go more into the living organisms, and to be able to manufacture water. That's a big deal. That's going to save a lot of people's pocketbooks there.
And y'all are actually growing gardens in the desert and places like Dubai.
We have food growing in Dubai right now.
Growing gardens in the desert.
Yeah, so this has been a project that's been in the making for
Making gardens out of graveyards.
almost
That'd be a great song.
absolutely.
That is the song.
15 years roughly this has been around. As Tony had mentioned, in multiple countries, close to 30 countries. But COVID did stop the integration here in the United States with Australia, the main scientists that focus on this. Australia had a very strict law, so travel was restricted during that time period. So we've been behind the wrong place, as it were, for a while because of the restrictions. But now, thanks for the invitation out here to the ranch. We're able to get rocking and rolling.
Now we're here in the United States. You look around here, what I've got in this barn, and we've hauled some of it out of there already. We're going to do a lot of usages, a lot of videos, and we're going to watch it over the next year or so. If y'all know any farmers or anybody that's got their own gardens or grows flowers in their yard or has grass that, you live in a city where, like here in Oklahoma, there'll be many towns around Oklahoma, if they're not already doing it, they're only going to allow you to water maybe 1 or 2 days a week wherever you are, or maybe some places where they won't be able to allow you to run your water system or water your garden or water your lawn at all because of the heat and the water restrictions that we have. This is going to solve a lot of those problems. So be watching for all the videos. Share it with your friends. If you want to learn more, just go to SGTM. That's Sustainable Green Team. Sustainable Green Team, SGTM. And you can see some of the products that are coming be available, real quickly. As soon as we have those new products, we'll have them. They'll be available just about everywhere. So, guys, let's go to work and get some humus oil down in some places, and we'll watch things happen over the next several months right here on Twin Eagle Ranch. Remember, guys and girls, I sure do love you.